Had to happen sometime. It's happening right now. It was inevitable. Welcome back to the Skilled Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're doing a full maximum upgrade to the Maxx Slash. And as you can tell, things are happening. There are a lot of upgrades available because this is basically just a Maxx. Nearly all of those parts just translate right over. So I'm in the process of putting them all on. Everything from chassis braces to servos to caster blocks, toe links, servo savers, everything. If it's for the Maxx, it's going on the Maxx Slash. And I'm in sort of the process right now. You can see some of it's been done. All the drive shafts are being replaced. All the toe links are being replaced. Anything that can be replaced is basically being replaced, including the servo. We've got a much more powerful servo in there. And while I'm at it, I was like, why not just do something new with the body too? I mean, the green one's nice, and I like that, but I also like customizing, and I love painting Lexan. As much as I hate Lexan, I love painting it. And I think I've gotten pretty good at it over the years. So there's the body right there. Oh, you might be able to sort of figure out what kind of theme we're going for here. That's right, it's a Lando Norris themed body. Another McLaren body, if you will. Lots of the same sponsors and stuff that Lando has. And yeah, I just thought I'd do something a bit, fun and simple. It's the most complicated, simple one-color paint job ever. But yes, this is sort of designed to look a bit like his helmet that he's running for 2024. And this will be fluorescent yellow at some point, backed with fluorescent green. Yeah, all these little bits will be black. It's not a one-color paint job. It's like a 2.5 color paint job. So all the stores are closed today. So I'm out of fluorescent yellow, so this will have to wait for another day. All right, so let's get back to the upgrades. The first thing I noticed right away, after installing the servo saver and all of the drag links and everything that's for steering, is that, see if I can show you this quickly here. These tires out of the way. Yeah, so if we look right here, this is where there is a screw for the very large servo. That is a massive servo with a huge heatsink. That is the 650 ounce-inches of torque Metal Gear servo, so that is a monster. But the problem is the steering mechanism rubs up against one of the screws that's holding that servo in, right there. So what we're going to have to do is maybe trim back or use a different screw there. We're going to have to investigate how to fix that. And I'll report back. All right, let's keep putting things on here. Well, let's start by taking more things off and then putting things back on. All right, as you can see, half of the car is done now. We've got all the anodized aluminum parts on, all the suspension elements, all of the steering elements, chassis brace, motor mounts have all been replaced with the anodized aluminum parts. The wheelie bar has even been replaced. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing I don't have the blue aluminum shock bodies. I've got the green anodized ones on there still, and I'm not gonna, that can't happen. I can't leave just one green part and everything else blue. So I'll be ordering those shock bodies today and hopefully get those in shortly so we can finish this off. I bet you a local store will have those. So I will go to one of my local hobby shops and pick those up so we can continue this build. But let's move around to the other side and finish installing the rest of the parts. And there we go, all upgrades installed. As soon as I get the paint that I need for this body, this one's basically wrapped up and ready to go. So there, all the upgrades are installed. I'll be sure to put a link to everything that I installed on the Maxx Slash so you can do these upgrades too. It's always been interesting to me that instructions are never included with any of these upgrades. They just sort of expect that, and probably rightly, that they are just bolt-on accessories. You take off the plastic part, you replace it with an aluminum part, and any associated hardware that they need to replace is replaced. And every bolt that needs thread lock is pre-thread locked. I love that. That is always a really nice feature of every Traxxas upgrade, especially when you're installing an aluminum part. It's already thread locked for you. Really, really great. So let's do a little painting demo now that we've got all the upgrades installed. In fact, do you like painting demos? Do you like to see how I paint Lexan? If you do, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. All right, time for paint. Almost forgot, there is also a Maxx Slash lighting kit that I'll be installing. This one has front and rear light bars, working brake lights, and reverse. And you can change all those modes on the fly if you're using the Bluetooth Traxxas Link. There you go. That's what they look like. Isn't that fun? All right. So first step is taking the body outside. No, we're gonna spray some of this. What is this? Fluorescent green. On point, but you can also get this in Traxxas paint. So if you're a Traxxas paint supporter, it's just a different label. There you go. So what we're going to do is just basically give this a little touch just around some of the edges. Not everywhere. Certainly not in the body of the actual truck body, but just around the edges. Oops, just around the edges. Sort of give it a little bit of shading. So let's do that. Always make sure to give your paint a really good shake before you apply it. I also do a little stuff to the side just to make sure that the nozzle is clean too. So for this, we're just using that green paint to give it a little bit of a shade around the lower portion of the truck. I'm not doing the whole body, and I'm only doing a very light coating. Then we move on to the fluorescent yellow. This is a major color, so it's going to require maybe 2 cans. I ended up just using about 3/4 of a can, mostly because I don't lay on my paint very thick. And I get into this a little bit later, but the thinner your coats can be, the more of them you can get, the better coverage you'll get, and your vinyl stickers won't react badly to all of that paint and end up lifting some of the paint. So there's a light coat of that neon yellow. Now we're going into a more regular yellow to kind of back that and to give it a bit of a different shade overall. I don't want it to be extreme fluorescent yellow. I want it to have a bit more, darker yellow in there. Now we're going to back all of that with some white. Just lay this on, give it a nice solid coat because you don't want any of the black leaking through. And I ended up not using enough white. I probably could have done a couple more coats of this, and I pay for it later. It's something that I'll never forget. So make sure you back with a nice bit of white if you are doing this in the reverse order like I did. Ultimately, you should use black first, but this design didn't really account for that. Now I'm backing all of that white with silver to really kind of lock in that nice extreme bright color. Because even with white, you can end up ruining that brightness by covering it all in black. Once that silver backing is done, we'll peel all of the vinyl decals off like you see here and apply our final coat of black. This is a nice heavy coat, coating everything because that is our final color. And that basically wraps up the entire paint job. As you can see, nice sharp lines are your reward for going light on all of your coats. And there you go. Not a difficult process, but in my opinion, a really nice end result. All right, so there we go. That's all the basics of the painting done. How many colors do we use? Neon green, neon yellow, regular yellow, white to back it, silver to back that, and then black. That's it. Not really that complicated of a paint job, but when you take your time and think about things, you can get really excellent results. This vinyl worked out really, really well. The big thing to remember when you're using this type of vinyl is that once you get to the 4 or 5 layers of paint stage and you have any heavy coats, there's a really strong possibility that it won't come off cleanly. It might actually pull up some of the paint around the edges. So you do have to make sure you're not using a ton of paint. You'll get similar results if you don't. Now, one of my secrets, whenever I'm doing these vinyl stickers and there's a little bit of, say, like an edge, sometimes the paint will just naturally bleed underneath because the vinyl doesn't stick properly around some of those contours. If you use some of this Tamiya polycarbonate body cleaner, you can very effectively with a Q-tip just go into all those edges where it sort of maybe leaked or bled a little bit. You can rub that away with this and then dry it real quick with the other side and it'll completely clean it up. I had a couple of spots on a few of these masks where that happened, and this was probably one of them right over here, maybe over here too. Yeah, it happened over there. But if you get in there really quickly with that, you can clean it up and it doesn't affect any of the edge work and it just keeps everything nice and crisp and nice and sharp. I'm really, really happy with how this looks. Now we have to get all of the protective film off of the top, apply all the stickers, and then add all the plastic reinforcement bits to this, and then we can call this one ready to go. So let's do that. All the plastic parts and the inner structure are all in there now. I put the window stickers on for now. I just, I kind of feel like they actually do kind of complete the look, despite them being full stickers. I like all the cage elements and having a Traxxas logo there and all the logos on the side of the car too. It just kind of, completes the look for me. But yeah, there you go. Overall, that's a pretty decent looking paint job. It's a little more yellow on screen than it is in real life, but I'm very, very pleased with the results. I think it's a nice, solid match to the actual helmet, which is exactly what I wanted. All right, let's put it on the truck, and then I think we're going to wrap this one up. And there we go, a fully upgraded Maxx Slash with a very custom, very cool looking body. I'm pretty pleased with the results. You know what, let's just do this. I'm pretty pleased with the results. I think it turned out really darn good. It's a very cool, very loud color, but a nice tribute to one of my favorite drivers, Lando Norris, and his helmet. So there you go. Yeah, if you're interested in doing any of these upgrades, by all means, I'll put all the links down below to all of the parts that I used. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this little series on upgrading the Maxx Slash. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. All right.